سلسلة ماذا قال المشاهير تأخذك في رحلة شيقة عبر أقوال وحكم أعظم الشخصيات التي أثرت في التاريخ وغيرت حياة الملايين. نكشف في كل حلقة عن كلمات خالدة مليئة بالحكمة والإلهام من العلماء، المفكرين، الفنانين، والقادة الذين صنعوا الفارق. سواء كنت تبحث عن رؤية جديدة للحياة أو ترغب في تعلم دروس من خبرات الآخرين، هذه السلسلة ستمنحك القوة لتطوير ذاتك. أحلامك. انضم إلينا لاستكشاف المعاني العميقة وراء كلمات المشاهير، واكتشف كيف يمكنك تطبيقها في حياتك اليومية. وهيكون معاكم في السلسلة الأستاذ كيرو، ويلا نبدأ مع بعض. ومتنسوش الاشتراك وتفعيل زر الجرس ليصلكم كل جديدنا، وعمل لايك وشير عشان الكل يستفيد.
It's said that the world of physics is one governed by abstractions. Numbers, formulas, and concepts so vast and intricate, they seem incomprehensible to anyone outside its boundaries. Yet, there was a man who had the uncanny ability to make the abstract concrete, to make the universe feel like a puzzle even a child could play with. His name was RichardFeynman, Nobel laureate, physicist, and, perhaps most miraculously, an unrelenting student of life itself. But what set Feynman apart from so many of his peers wasn't just his brilliance. It wasn't just his achievements, or his unconventional teaching style, or even his genius for problem-solving. It was his philosophy, one distilled perfectly into a single profound sentence: "What I cannot create, I do not understand." To Feynman, this wasn't just a clever statement, it was a way of life, a compass that guided his insatiable curiosity. But where did it come from? How does a single idea become the cornerstone of someone's approach to understanding the universe? Imagine Feynman as a young boy in far Rockaway, New York, dismantling radios just to see how they worked. In those days, his father, Melville Feynman, taught him an invaluable lesson: that knowing the name of something wasn't the same as understanding it. Little Richard would watch as his father explained the mechanics of a tiny bird by describing its physical structure, the shape of its wings, the function of its feathers, not by reciting the Latin name written in some textbook. The message was clear: understanding required more than words, it required action, tinkering, learning by doing. Fast forward to the early years of Feynman's career at Los Alamos, where he worked on the development of the atomic bomb. One of Feynman's tasks was to calculate new methods for enriching uranium. Now, while many relied on unapproachable equations and theoretical principles, Feynman approached the task as he always had. He took apart the problem, examined it piece by piece, and reconstructed it into something he could hold in his mind. He wasn't just theorizing, he was building. And then, of course, there was his work as a teacher. Feynman's lectures, immortalized in his Lectures on Physics, were legendary for their clarity. Students, both baffled and amazed, often marveled at how he could take the most complex theories and lay them bare. But his secret wasn't a gift of simplification, it was his process. He believed that if he could not explain something simply, if he couldn't break an idea down into its elements and effectively recreate it in his own words, then he didn't truly understand it. For example, there's the story of Feynman and the unbreakable safe at Los Alamos. Feynman had no formal expertise in cracking safes, but his curiosity was stronger than his lack of experience. He carefully observed, experimented, and devised methods to create solutions, step by step. In a matter of days, he became the man no safe could keep out. To him, it wasn't about breaking into a box, it was about decoding a system, mastering it, and through that mastery came understanding. This philosophy extended far beyond physics or puzzle solving. Take his unwavering passion for playing the bongos, a hobby many people would dismiss as frivolous or unrelated to his scientific work. For Feynman, drumming wasn't just about making noise. It was about immersing himself in rhythm, in patterns, in creating something tangible that connected the abstract world of sound to the physical world of movement and time. But his philosophy would also be tested in profound, personal ways. Toward the later stages of his life, Feynman developed a fascination with biology. He decided to study neurology, not by reading papers or sitting in seminars, but by walking into a lab and physically dissecting brains. He needed to touch, to see, to create. And when he couldn't fully grasp the intricacies of natural systems in his hands, he often admitted his limitations, saying, "I don't understand it." Feynman wasn't afraid of not knowing. Quite the contrary, he reveled in it. To him, the words, "I don't know," were not an end, they were a beginning. That lack of understanding was an invitation to build, to experiment, to create, and through that creation, to discover. It was with this humility that he shaped the last years of his life, grappling with the limits not only of human knowledge, but also of his own. And perhaps it's this humility that made his statement so enduring. Because at its core, what I cannot create, I do not understand, isn't just about physics, it's about life. It's about seeing the world not as a mystery to be solved, but as a masterpiece to be built, one piece at a time. In the end, the essence of Richard Feynman wasn't just his extraordinary intellect. It was his relentless drive to take the abstract and make it real, to break the unknowable into something tangible. Next time you're faced with something you don't understand, don't just ask for the answer. Build the answer. Create it. Because what you cannot create, you will never truly understand.
ولو عجبكم الفيديو واستفدتوا يا ريت ما تنسوش الاشتراك ولايك والشير. كنتم مع الأستاذ كيرو وانتظرونا في فيديوهات جاية كتير إن شاء الله.